All right, let's dive into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. This one's for you, listener. You're feeling a little overwhelmed with your finances. You want some practical advice, and we think Ramsey's your guy. Straightforward, step by step. He calls it a financial peace.
Yeah, he's all about that.
First impression, he doesn't mess around. Straightforward, no nonsense.
Refreshing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Cuts through all the noise and just gets to the point. Common sense stuff, which honestly is sometimes hard to find when it comes to money.
That's what I like about Ramsey. His approach is grounded in experience. He's a millionaire, went bankrupt, then became a millionaire again. He's been there.
Makes his advice feel real, authentic. And one thing he's really passionate about, debt. He hates it, calls it a dangerous trap.
Oh yeah, he really goes after it.
Yeah.
Compares it to a toddler having a tantrum in the grocery store.
Oh, no. I want it. I want it.
That's such a great visual. We've all been there.
Shows you how emotional spending can be.
So true. And he takes on all these myths about debt,
Yeah.
the things we just accept as true.
Like it's just part of life. Exactly.
Like using debt as a tool for prosperity.
I mean, on the surface, it kind of makes sense. Buy a house, invest in a business.
But Ramsey lays it all out. The risk can be way bigger than the reward.
He uses real examples too, right? That professor who taught about debt but was broke himself.
Yeah, a cautionary tale. Makes you think about the true cost of debt.
Then there's lending money to family and friends. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Oh yeah. Ramsey says don't mix love and money.
Recipe for disaster.
Exactly. He tells this heartbreaking story about a grandfather, his grandson, and a truck loan. Lost the money and the relationship.
It's sad, but it's true. Sometimes saying no is the kindest thing you can do, even if it's hard.
Absolutely. And talking about tricky, he really exposes those predatory lenders.
The ones playing on people who are already struggling. Payday loans, those tote-the-note car lots.
Well, rent-to-own schemes.
Calls them trash lenders.
Because they are. Trapping people with insane interest rates and hidden fees.
And then there's that 90 days same as cash offer. Seems like a good deal.
Right. But it's not free money. It's a trick to get you to spend more than you can afford. Then, bam, you get hit with huge interest.
Car payments. It's like we're programmed to think they're just a way of life.
But the average millionaire, used car, think of all the money you waste on car payments over a lifetime.
I get it, but you need a reliable car to get to work.
I know. His point is there are better ways to finance it than those endless car payments.
Okay, that makes sense. Then he debunks leasing a car being a sophisticated choice. Really, it's the most expensive way to drive.
High interest, hidden costs. He compares it to throwing a $100 bill out the window every week.
Ouch, that hurts. Credit cards. We're told you need them to build credit.
But Ramsey's like, nope. Debit cards and a 100% down payment on a home. Skip the credit trap altogether.
That's a big challenge to that whole credit score obsession.
Right. He says it's not about financial health. It's about how much you're willing to be in debt. Calls it the I love debt score.
Provocative. Makes you think. Rethink that whole creditworthiness thing. And he says credit card rewards are just another trick.
They did a study, people spend way more at McDonald's when they use credit instead of cash.
That's crazy. Giving teens credit cards. Another no-no. It teaches them to rely on credit, not how to handle money.
He compares it to letting a teenager sleep with a loaded gun.
Whoa.
Both are risky, bad consequences. It's not about teenagers being irresponsible. It's about not setting them up for failure.
Right. Then there's debt consolidation. We're told it's solution.
But Ramsey says it often makes things worse. Doesn't fix the root of the problem, the spending habits.
Like putting a bandage on a broken leg. Makes you feel better, but doesn't actually fix anything.
Exactly. Then there's borrowing against your home to restructure debt. Seems like a quick fix.
But it's risky. What if you lose your job? Housing market tanks.
He tells the story about Dan, lost his home because he couldn't make the payments, using your home as collateral. Slippery slope.
Makes you realize, gotta understand those loan terms before you sign.
Absolutely. And then there are those get-rich-quick schemes.
Oh, man. Promising easy money. Nothing down. Real estate. Work-from-home scams.
He calls them out. Traps. Financial ruin.
Like that medical billing scam. People thought they'd get rich working from home.
But hardly anyone made any money. Too good to be true, usually is.
The lottery. Can't forget that one.
Tax on the poor, he calls it. Odds are terrible. Building wealth takes time, effort, smart choices, not luck.
He also cautions against buying mobile homes as a shortcut to owning a home.
They lose value. send you back financially.
But there was that one couple. They sold their house, lived in a used trailer while they built their dream home debt-free.
Proof you can do it, even if it's unconventional. If you have a plan and you're willing to sacrifice.
Then there are the debt management companies. Savior. Not so much, says Ramsey.
They can help with lower payments, but they don't address the real issue.
And they can hurt your credit.
He compares it to Chapter 13, bankruptcy. Giving someone else control of your finances.
Credit repair kits. Another scam.
Right.
Total scam.
They can't erase accurate info, and some even encourage illegal stuff, like getting a new Social Security number.
Yikes. True credit repair. Responsible behavior over time. No shortcuts.
Right. And divorce doesn't make debt disappear.
Just because the decree says your ex pays it doesn't mean you're off the hook if your name's on the loan.
Exactly. He says, refinance or sell assets during the divorce. Don't get stuck with your ex's debt.
Cash. Some people are afraid of it, think you'll get robbed.
But Ramsey says the benefits outweigh the risk. Control your spending, avoid debt.
He even suggests using a food envelope. Put cash in it and only use that for groceries.
It's a visual reminder. Helps you stay on budget.
Insurance. Some people think they can't afford it. Ramsey says term life insurance and good health insurance. Essential. He tells that story about the young couple, got insurance on his advice.
Then the husband gets diagnosed with brain cancer. But the insurance covered their medical bills, and the life insurance took care of the family.
Insurance isn't about stuff. It's about protecting your financial future. Makes you think.
It does. And then there's making a will. Some people think it's bad luck, like tempting fate.
Yeah, like you're bringing death closer.
Ramsey's like, look, we're all going to die. A will makes it easier on everyone. Your wishes are carried out. He quotes a proverb, a good man leaves an inheritance.
To his children's children. Wow. Financial planning. It's not just about now, it's about creating a legacy.
Exactly.
We've covered a lot, busted all those myths that keep people in debt. So what's the solution? That's where those famous 7 baby steps come in. A clear plan for financial freedom, one step at a time.
And they build on each other. Important to them in order, like building a house.
Foundation first.
Right. Baby step 1, a $1,000 starter emergency fund.
Might not seem like much, but it makes a difference.
Huge difference. Stops those little unexpected expenses from pushing you further into debt.
And it's got to be easy to get to. Savings account, no risky investment.
Exactly. No investing until that starter fund is in place.
Got it. What's next?
Baby step 2, the debt snowball. Start getting rid of that debt, except the house.
This is where it gets exciting. Seeing progress.
Right. So you list your debts smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate.
Some experts disagree with that, say you should tackle the high interest first.
But Ramsey says the psychological win of getting those small debts paid off first is powerful, keeps you motivated.
It's like that snowball rolling downhill, gets bigger and faster.
Exactly. He even has a worksheet in the book. Track your progress. He jokes you can use the old worksheets to wallpaper your bathroom.
I love that. Debt-free bathroom. It's a celebration.
He tells that story about the couple who sold their rental property, even the wife's BMW.
To get their debt snowball rolling. Lived on a tight budget for 6 months, but they became debt-free, except for the house.
Intense, but it worked. Shows what you can achieve with focus and determination.
And sometimes you have to sacrifice. He compares it to a gazelle escaping a cheetah.
Doesn't outrun it, outmaneuvers it.
Right. Debt is a predator. You got to be strategic to escape.
He calls it dynamite, the logjam.
For those people barely scraping by, making minimum payments, he says you got to get creative, increase income, cut expenses.
Break that logjam, get the cash flowing. Like that couple who had a garage sale to kickstart their debt snowball. Small actions, big impact.
Okay, so we've got our starter emergency fund, working the debt snowball. What's next?
Baby step 3, build that full emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses.
The safety net for those big life events.
Exactly. Job loss. Medical emergency. You don't need enough to replace your income, just enough to cover your essential expenses.
How do you know how much you need?
Ramsey's got guidelines based on your risk level. Risky job, single income, 6 months, more stable, 3 months might be enough.
So you got to assess your situation, figure out your risk tolerance.
Right. And it can be daunting to save that much. But use that fear as motivation. He tells that story about Sherry. Her husband didn't want a big emergency fund.
What happened?
She explained why it was so important, and he changed his mind. Then he was the one enforcing it when their kid wanted a new computer.
I love that. Shared financial goals bring people together.
Me too. Ramsey says men and women see the emergency fund differently too. Women like the security. Men focus on the actions they can take. He tells this story about two couples, both in a car accident. One's debt-free, has an emergency fund, the other doesn't. Huge difference in how they handle it.
The stress level, the emotional impact.
Totally different. And as you work through the total money makeover, what's an emergency changes. What used to be a crisis becomes a minor inconvenience.
Because you've got that cushion.
Exactly.
So a solid foundation makes you less vulnerable.
Exactly.
What if you're working the debt snowball and something happens? Job loss. Do you have to start over?
Not always. You might have to pause the debt snowball, build up the emergency fund faster.
So be flexible, adjust as needed.
But get back on track as soon as you can.
Okay, so the emergency fund is about managing risk.
But not living in fear.
Right. Peace of mind. Focus on other goals.
Knowing you can handle those bumps in the road frees you up to pursue your dreams.
Makes sense. So what's next?
Baby step 4. Investing. 15% of your household income for retirement. The long game.
Okay, got it. Starter fund. Crushing debt with the snowball. Built up the emergency fund. Now retirement. Baby step 4. 15% of your income. Long-term thinking.
Exactly. Building wealth for the future. Enjoy those golden years without stressing about money.
This is after all debt is paid off except the mortgage, right?
Right. No serious investing until you're free of that consumer debt.
So 15% of your income, what does that look like?
Gross income. Not including any company matches in your 401k or anything like that.
Okay, for those who need a refresher, 401k. Employer-sponsored retirement savings. Pre-tax dollars lowers your taxable income.
He's a big fan of those. But he doesn't want you to rely solely on them. Take ownership of your retirement savings.
15% is a guideline, right?
Yeah. If you're a little above or below, that's okay. But don't stray too far. Underinvest and you'll struggle later. Overinvest and you'll delay other goals, like paying off the house.
It's about balance. Enough for a comfy retirement without sacrificing other goals.
He has a worksheet in the book. Helps you figure out how much to invest each month to reach your goals. Think big, he says. Dream of a secure retirement.
That's so important.
It is. He has this example. Joe and Susie average. They start investing 15% at 30. Average income, invest consistently until they're 70. Almost $8 million in their retirement accounts.
$8 million. That's amazing.
Power of compound interest. Even small investments over time can add up.
What if you can't afford to save that much?
He says, don't worry. This is just baby step 4. Later steps, you can invest more as you become more financially secure.
Okay, that's good to know.
And stay focused, even when life throws you curveballs. He tells this story about Gail. She's 57 and felt like it was too late to start saving.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Ramsey told her to start with baby step 1. Work the plan, no matter her age. He said it's never too late.
It's never too late. Love that.
Right. So we've got the 15% idea. Where do you actually invest the money?
Yeah. Where does it go?
It gets a little technical, but he explains 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, SFs, tax-advantaged retirement accounts.
What's the difference?
401k, 403b, those are employer-sponsored. IRAs and SFs are individual accounts, different limits, different tax rules.
And take advantage of any employer matching, right?
Absolutely. Free money. Okay, retirement checks. But what about the kids? College.
College is expensive these days. Got to think about their future.
That's baby step 5, saving for college.
We want to give our kids the best.
Right. But Ramsey's big on paying for it responsibly. No debt for your kids' education.
Cripples their finances before they even start.
Exactly. Start saving early. Use those tax-advantaged accounts, 529 plans, ESAs.
Can you explain those a little more?
Sure. 529 is like a savings account just for college. After-tax contributions, but the earnings grow tax-free as long as you use it for qualified education expenses. ESAs, or education savings accounts, are another option, but they have lower contribution limits.
So take advantage of those tax breaks.
Right, and don't sacrifice your own retirement or financial security to pay for your kids' college.
But what if they don't go to college, get a scholarship?
Ramsey challenges those college myths. Degree doesn't guarantee a job or success anymore.
Things are changing so fast.
He says, talk to your kids. Be honest about the costs and benefits. Trade schools, apprenticeships, there are other paths.
Find what's right for your kid. College isn't the only answer.
Exactly. Teach them about hard work, responsibility, financial literacy, no matter what they do.
Good life skills.
They are. Speaking of big goals, next up is paying off the mortgage.
All right. Retirement savings, college fund. What's next? Baby step 6, paying off mortgage early. Owning your home free and clear. No more monthly payments. Frees up a ton of cash.
Right.
Now, some people say it's not a good idea. Better to invest the extra money, get higher returns.
Ramsey disagrees. Paying off the mortgage is a guaranteed return. Investments, always a risk.
So it's peace of mind versus potential profit.
Exactly. And the feeling of owning your home. No debt hanging over your head. Priceless.
It's empowering.
Absolutely. He calls it psychological and emotional freedom. Your most valuable asset truly belongs to you.
So how do you tackle it?
Gazelle intensity. Extra payments whenever you can. It can be a long haul, especially if you have a big mortgage, but it's worth it. He tells a story about a couple, paid off a $30,000 mortgage in 3 years.
Wow. 3 years.
Living on a tight budget, but they did it. Focus and determination.
Inspiring. So you've reached the peak. No debt. Emergency fund. Investing for retirement. College savings. Paid off the house. What's left?
This is where it gets fun. Baby step 7. Building wealth and giving.
Moving beyond financial stability to true wealth.
Money working harder than you do.
The pinnacle point, he calls it.
Yep. All that hard work pays off.
Like reaching the top of a hill after a long climb, now you can coast.
Love that analogy.
So building wealth and giving, what does that mean?
It's not just about having a lot of money. It's about abundance, generosity, giving back to your community, supporting things that matter to you. He believes that's the most fulfilling use of wealth.
Making a positive impact?
Exactly.
Great idea, but a lot of people are just starting out. What advice does he have for them?
Start somewhere, even a small step. Make a budget. Open a savings account. Pay off a small debt.
Every step counts.
Financial freedom is a journey, not a destination. It's about making progress, learning from mistakes, celebrating the wins.
It's about the journey.
He reminds us we're not alone. He's got a website, podcasts, books, those Financial Peace University classes.
A whole community.
People who are all working towards this together.
I'm feeling motivated just talking about it.
It's contagious, right? And it reminds us that it's not just about the numbers. It's about creating a life that reflects your values.
Your priorities, your passions.
Exactly. And we'll be back with part 2. Dig into some of Ramsey's strategies.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. It's great to be continuing our deep dive into the total money makeover.
All right, so we've talked about debt myths, those baby steps. Now I want to dig into Ramsey's philosophy a bit. What struck me is how much he focuses on behavior. It's not just about, like, spreadsheets and formulas, right?
No, not at all. It's about the mindset, the motivation, the self-discipline you need to change your habits around money.
Yeah.
He talks about a heart change.
Yeah, a heart change. Basically changing how you view money.
Your values, your beliefs.
And he connects that to becoming a grown-up about money. We're taught how to earn money, but not how to manage it.
He says the average family earns over $2 million in their lifetime. $2 million. And high schools, colleges, they don't teach us anything about budgeting, investing, debt.
That's true.
He calls it getting a financial master's degree in DUMB.
I love that. It's funny, but it's a serious issue. We're not financially literate.
And that leads to bad decisions. Debt. A life of stress.
We're not just talking about lack of education either. We're bombarded with messages telling us to spend, spend, spend.
Keep up with the Joneses.
Debt is good. It's all around us.
The language of denial, Ramsey calls it, justifying those bad money habits.
So how do we break free?
Ramsey says it takes conscious effort. Educate yourself. Challenge those norms about debt. Take control. Own your financial destiny. One of his key strategies, written goals. He says anyone who wins at anything in life has written goals.
It's true for everything, right?
Money management is no different.
He compares a budget to a blueprint for a house. You wouldn't build without one.
So why manage your money without a plan? Your budget is your roadmap to success.
Love that analogy.
Focus on one goal at a time, too. He says if you try to do everything at once, saving, paying off debt, investing, you'll get nowhere. Spread yourself too thin.
Better to focus your energy on one thing at a time.
Get it done, then move on to the next.
Makes sense. But some people struggle with staying focused, especially with something as hard as personal finance.
That's where accountability comes in. Find a partner, a friend, even a financial advisor, someone to support you.
Like a workout buddy.
Exactly. Someone to share your goals with. Celebrate your wins. Big difference in your motivation.
If you're in a relationship, Ramsey says have regular budget meetings.
Talk about money. Be open. Work as a team.
You're both on the same side, working towards the same goals.
Right. And don't just react. Be proactive. Think about your weak spots.
We all have them.
Where do you overspend? Where are you impulsive? Then come up with strategies.
If clothes are your weakness, unsubscribe from those emails. Or set a strict clothing budget.
Exactly. And automate everything you can. Savings, bill payments. Take the temptation away.
What I appreciate about Ramsey is he gets that personal finance is emotional too. Financial stress affects everything.
Relationships, health, happiness, it's all connected.
He says financial freedom isn't just about having money, it's about peace of mind.
Enjoy your life. What's the point of having money if you're always stressed about it?
Exactly.
Focus on your values. Make choices that align with your long-term goals, even if it means delaying gratification.
It's not about never having fun, it's about aligning your choices with your goal.
Right. Money is a tool, not the boss.
So it's not about becoming a Scrooge, it's about using money to create the life you want. What resonated with you about his philosophy? Any principles stand out?
One thing that stuck with me was his discussion of the 2008 economic crisis. Tough time.
Yeah, a lot of people struggling.
He says it exposed the flaws in how we think about debt, about financial security.
People were living beyond their means, lots of debt, no safety net when things went bad.
And he said the people who did okay, they were living below their means, saving, avoiding debt.
It's about building that solid foundation.
He calls 2008 a wake-up call. True stability. Smart choices, not luck or timing.
Some people learned, some didn't. Went right back to the old ways.
It's easy to slip back into bad habits.
He wants us to learn from that. Look at our own habits. Be prepared for whatever comes next.
Because something always comes next.
Yeah.
Life is unpredictable.
That's why he talks about being adaptable. Your financial plan needs to change as your life changes.
He gets it. Things happen. But a solid foundation, it gives you the flexibility to adapt without being totally derailed.
So have a plan, but be ready to change it.
Exactly. And remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. There will be tough times. You'll want to quit. Stay focused. Celebrate your progress.
Every step forward is a win.
And find the joy in the journey.
Okay, so we talked about his philosophy. His own story is powerful too. Millionaire to bankruptcy to millionaire again.
Makes him relatable.
He talks about his mistakes, got caught up in real estate speculation, lost everything.
He's not afraid to be honest about his failures.
Uses it as a lesson. Even smart people make mistakes.
It can happen to anyone.
But failure isn't the end.
Right.
He learned from it, came back stronger.
He says, take responsibility for your mistakes. Learn from them. Move on.
It's inspiring. It's possible to turn things around.
No matter how bad it seems.
He believes anyone can achieve financial freedom, no matter what happened in the past.
It's a process.
Steps that lead to your goal.
There will be bumps in the road.
But keep going, keep learning. That's how you succeed.
What lessons do you take from his story? How can it inspire you?
Another thing that sets Ramsey apart is his focus on generosity, giving.
True wealth isn't about how much you have, it's about how much you give.
Make giving part of your budget.
Even a small amount.
He says giving creates ripples. It helps others, but it also brings you joy. Find causes you care about and support them. Donate money. Volunteer time. Use your skills to help.
It's about gratitude.
Making the world a better place.
He tells stories of people who are financially free, and they find joy in helping others, starting foundations, funding scholarships, supporting local businesses. It's not an obligation, it's an opportunity.
To make a difference, to experience the joy of helping others.
What resonates with you about his approach to giving? What causes are important to you? How can you make giving part of your plan? Make it feel real.
Ramsey's view of financial freedom is bigger than just money.
It's about living a life that reflects your values.
Think about your dreams, your goals, what brings you joy. Use money to help you achieve those things.
But use it wisely, intentionally.
Create a plan that supports the life you want. Travel, a business, more time with family.
It's about having choices.
Control your time and resources. Live a meaningful life.
And find balance.
Right.
Relationships, health, well-being. Those are important too.
Money is just one piece of the puzzle.
Invest in those other areas of your life, the things that bring you joy.
Those are the investments that really pay off.
What stands out to you about his vision of financial freedom? How can you use it to create a life that's secure and fulfilling?
Okay, so we've explored Ramsey's big picture ideas and how they connect to, living a good life. Now, for this last part of our deep dive into the total money makeover, let's get into some of those practical tips he's famous for. The guy is all about action, right?
Oh, absolutely. He gives you tons of tools, tactics, stuff you can actually use. One thing that always stands out is his thing about using cash.
The envelope system, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Super simple, but it really works.
Yeah.
Helps you track your spending, stay on budget.
I've heard of it, but I've never actually tried it. How does it work?
So you decide how much cash you have for each category, like groceries, eating out, clothes, whatever. Then you literally put that cash into separate envelopes.
So like an envelope for groceries, an envelope for entertainment, and so on.
Yep. Then instead of using your card, you pay with cash from the envelope.
So if I go to the grocery store, I use the groceries envelope.
Exactly. And when the cash is gone, that's it. You got to wait till next month to refill it.
No more impulse buys, no more going over budget.
You got it. It makes you think twice before you spend.
I like that. Makes it visual. You can actually see the money going away.
It's a great way to break those bad spending habits we all have. And for bigger purchases, Ramsey's big on negotiating.
Everything, right? Cars, insurance, even medical bills.
He says most people are too afraid to ask for a better price. But if you're willing to negotiate, you can save a ton of money over time.
Any advice for newbie negotiators? It can be a little scary.
Do your research first. Know what a fair price is. And be ready to walk away if you don't get it. And be persistent, but don't be a jerk about it.
Practice helps too. Try it out at a flea market or something.
Exactly. Get comfortable with the process. Then you can tackle the bigger stuff.
Ramsey also talks about finding ways to increase your income.
Cutting back is great, but sometimes it's not enough. Especially if you have a lot of debt to pay off.
Got to bring in more money, not just spend less.
Right. Get creative. Sell stuff you don't need. Get a side hustle. Even a part-time job can help.
I think a lot of people don't want to work more, but a little extra cash can make a big difference.
Even if it's just for a little while, to get you over the hump.
Have a plan. Be strategic.
That's it. And he also talks about being a smarter consumer.
Don't buy stuff just because it's on sale.
Exactly. Think about the long-term costs, not just the price tag. And use whenever you can.
Cars, furniture, clothes. You can find some amazing deals, save money, help the environment. Win-win.
Totally. Oh, and don't forget about his website, daveramsey.com. It's got everything. Budgeting tools, calculators, articles, podcasts, videos, you name it.
A goldmine of information.
He also has his Financial Peace University, 9-week course. Goes into all this stuff in detail.
Great for people who want more structure or to connect with others who are working on their finances.
And if you need more personalized help, he has financial advisors too.
He's really built this whole system to help people. It's impressive.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's clear that the Total Money Makeover is more than just a money book. It's about changing how you think about money, taking control.
He gives you hope. He believes anyone can achieve financial freedom.
It's not easy. It takes work, sacrifice, dedication.
But it's worth it.
He says it's a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep growing.
And remember, money is a tool.
Use it to build the life you want. A life with purpose, meaning, joy.
Be patient with yourself, be persistent, celebrate your wins.
And you don't have to do it alone. There's help out there.
Check out his website, Financial Peace University. Maybe even talk to a financial advisor.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. We hope you found it helpful. We hope it inspires you to take control of your finances and create the life of your dreams. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.